Before we officially start, can I have a minute? Yeah, no, that's fine. So we have someone here tonight that you may not recognize. So I just want to briefly introduce, this is Diana Wilson. She is our new Star Academy principal who will be joining us in the fall. So thank you for coming to our last board meeting of the 22-23 school year. We appreciate having you here. So I just wanted to put a name with the face for everyone.
Very good, thank you. Nice to meet everyone.
Well, Dr. Meharada, we are live on YouTube.
Okay, very good. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 5:30. And it looks like we have a quorum. So we'll go ahead and take roll call. Doug?
Here.
Nita? Here. Sean?
Here.
Gina? Here. I'm here. Meharada. Priti? Here. Jennifer?
Ms. Morgan is on her way. She's just running a little bit late.
Okay, and Ashante.
Will not be joining us today.
All right. So we're on item C, hearing of the public for items not on the agenda. C,
Nothing received with me.
okay. Item D, hearing of the public for items on the agenda.
Also nothing received with me. And let me just check and make sure we don't have any members of the public online. We do not. We're good to go.
All right, so we're on item E. Approval of the agenda. So would you like to take it from here?
Sure. We'll take it from here, thank you very much.
You bet.
Ms. Morgan has entered the room for the record.
Thank you, I'm in the building. Any comments, ideas, changes to tonight's agenda? Want to add anything to it?
No.
May I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So, okay. I'll second.
Doug and Maria, roll call vote. Ashante is absent. Jennifer, I'm a yes. Preeti?
Yes.
Maria?
Yes.
Gina?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Nita?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Okay, moving right along. Consent items are board meeting minutes. Comments, questions, changes? Okay, may I have a motion to approve the consent items from the June 12th board meeting? Excellent. Thank you, Gina. Second?
I'll second.
Doug? Okay, roll call vote. Doug?
Yes.
Nita?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Gina?
Yes.
Maria?
Yes.
Preeti?
Do I abstain because I'm not here?
No.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, okay. And I'm a yes. Jennifer? Aha, action items. Approval of 2023-2024 budget. Comments, questions? Do we have a presentation with that? or
Mhm.
just-
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty there, but she also a copy of you right in front of you as well. So thank you all for coming to the second June board meeting. As you know, we are required to adopt our school budget prior to June 30th. On the 12th, I was here talking about the governor's May revise, and this budget tonight reflects those assumptions that we needed to build our budget on. So we're gonna go through our major sections of the budget. As a highlight, see if we can go to the next page. We're gonna start off with the assumptions for the local control funding formula. So our cost of living adjustment is 8.22%. And you can see the two outgoing years out there. I have 0 for a deficit or deferred COLA. And this year they're not adding to the base, so that's a 0. So we have a total funded COLA of 8.22%. Also listed on your screen, you can see that the new grade span amounts for the LCFF funds, as well as the add-ons for career tech education and kindergarten through 3rd grade. There. So if you go to the next slide. So we are projecting an average daily attendance rate of 1,764. And so that's a decrease over our prior year P2 of almost 2388. Now, because of that, we were surprised with our P2 ADA that thanks to our efforts, the short-term independent study, that really bumped it up on there. We are not projecting any enrollment increases for the 2 out years. We want to make our decisions based on the what we decide today. So for local control funding formula, the average that we're getting over the prior year is $868. The following year will be $458, and then the 3rd year out $400. So STRS rates stayed the same, and they're included in the budget. CalPERS went up about 1.31% compared to the prior year. and it's projected to go up for the 2 out years, so you can see the projected increases there. Our unduplicated pupil count, this is the rolling averages, and that's how we get our supplemental concentration grant funds. You can see that we are still below the 30% on there. As our unduplicated pupil counts go up, our percentages would go up on this.
So if our ADA is projected flat over the next couple of years, where's the increase coming from? Is it just kind of rounding or what's?
So, are you talking about, we had a decrease over last year's prior year ADA, and so,
I think you're speaking about the unduplicated count percentage.
No, I was just looking at, so
ADA.
11,663, right?
Mhm.
And that's coming, that includes the 2268 decrease, right?
Yeah, so, you're talking about the 1163, that's the average total LCFF, for the whole school, so taking our whole ADA on there. So, based on next year's budget, based on projected enrollment of 1764, when you multiply that by the average 11,663, that's what you get for our total LCAP for next year, which in the details is over $20 million on that.
I think, Jen, what you're asking is you're trying to understand how 11,663 goes to 12,121.
Oh,
Yeah.
It has to do with the
Cost of
COLA.
living.
There's a
Oh,
COLA.
okay.
Sorry about that, yeah, it's costly. So with the COLA added on, our average per rate goes up at the ADA. We're not increasing enrollment projections as well on that. So, Ziba, if you want to go to the next slide.
So, Jen, in summary, basically what Anita's sharing is that we don't, typically Natomah Charter Schools enrollment does a little bit of this, right? Like 1 year up, next year we're down a little bit. But from a budgetary standpoint, we go with the lower number and put out all 3 years. So, if PAC's enrollment increases, if ECA's enrollment increases, then these numbers might go up. But from a budgetary standpoint, we're just doing the 1764. And then for this year, this coming year, we're projecting $11,663 per student in funding. There's a COLA in the following year that would move that up to 12,121, and then another COLA that would move that up in the third year out to 12,520.
I got it. So the COLA is the 3.9%,
Yes.
isn't it? Okay.
And of course, the only COLA that we really know is the first one, the 8.22. All of this could change, as we go into, future budget years. But this is the information that we have, from the governor's main advice and from School Services of California in terms of what we should be planning our budget around.
So for the enrollment and ADA projections, our enrollment that we're estimating for this year is 1857, which is about 12 students less than our CBEDs from the prior year. And then we're going conservative with an estimated 95% of average daily attendance. So that gets us to the 1764 that we're budgeting our revenues on. So financial highlights, what's in and out of the budget and stuff too. So overall, this is a really good budget. This is probably one of the last good budgets that we'll see in a while here. And you'll see that we are accomplishing a lot in this budget as well. So it does include the 8.22% COLA for the base funding. We had a slight decrease in enrollment, like I mentioned. We're increasing all salary schedules by 3%. We're also funding step and level costs for our staff. We've included pension increases, which for next year, 23-24, it's just the CalPERS rates that are increasing. STRS are staying flat. We've included lots of professional development on here. So that includes administrative training. All of our certificated staff get $500 PD funds that they can use for whatever they want for their personal professional development, as well as conferences and workshops for our non-instructional staff that are part of the academy and department budgets. We are also operating an in-house special education program. It continues to grow. For next year, we're estimating our revenues to be 1.8 million and expenditures to be 3.6 million. And this is driven by the needs of our students that come to us. We never know what they're gonna have. This is our best guess at this time. And as we get enrollments and registration packets, this may change. So we are gonna be contributing about almost 1.8 million towards special education. Even if you go to the next slide. For the position control changes, we've added approximately 7.4 full-time equivalencies to the budget. The other key thing is we have routine restricted maintenance account, which represents 3% or just slightly more of our total expenditures. And because we are approved for our facilities, charter school facilities grant program, we now need to show in our adopted budget and when we close the books that we have met that 3% of our total expenditures. So you'll be seeing that in our budget presentations. For technology expenditures, we include computers for new staff, replacement laptops, iPad replacements, Chromebook replacements, and then also the LMC replacement computers. And if we move further along in our facilities project on this campus and get to a J-ring refurbishment, that we may switch and do the J-ring according to our IT manager on there. Server replacements and the wireless hardware, we have an approved bid to go out for that. We are also continuing with our Mandarin program. So last year was the last year of the N4CO regional program that we were leading, but we are still going to be participants and we still have some carryover that is in this budget. And we still plan to be a member of the Chinese classroom moving forward on that. We've removed all prior year one-time monies. For capital outlay, we've included a little bit for contingency funds for our current projects that we have. Right now, all of the facility projects that are going on are in this year's budget. What we don't spend will roll over in part of the first round update carryover. And right now, we're debt free. So, okay, also, this budget is a representation of the LCAP that you will also be reviewing tonight. And it's on our three main goals. And it represents about $7 million for just funds to address our students with the greatest needs. So of our $24 million expenditure budget, the LCAP represents about $7 million of that. Let's see the next. So this is a summary of what is in the budget. We have the first column, which is our estimated actuals. We are projecting to close the books with about 157 to 71 more revenues than expenditures, which would bring up our estimated fund balance to about 15.1 million. That would become our beginning balance for next year. We are projecting 24.9 million in revenues and 24.7 million in expenditures. Excuse me, so there's a surplus of revenues projected over expenditures of almost $200,000. So that would get us to a projected ending fund balance of the 15.3 million. So the variance column there, when all is said and done, it really is only a 38,333 net difference, but we're pulling out all of those one-time revenues, the categorical programs. We're pulling out all of those one-time expenditures and stuff. And so, and with the shifting around the additional LCAP funds, our raises, everything like that, kind of all shakes out to about 38,000, all of that activity. And so it doesn't really change our projected fund balance too much. So you guys can go to the next slide. So this is a revenue pie chart here. Still 98% of all of our revenues, with the exception of local revenues, the 2%, is all driven by student attendance. So whether it's a categorical program, lottery, or the LCFF. For our expenditure budget, we've broken out the different categories here. And I use this format, like the district likes to see our administrative salaries kind of separate from everybody else. But we have reached the 84% mark in this particular budget for salary and benefits, and the difference is all the other categories, which this is my expenditure by function. So what I really appreciate about Natomas Charter School, you can see that over 62% is direct instruction for the students. And only 17% goes into other categories, which is your general administration, plant maintenance and security, and the MOU fees for the school district. So all the rest directly support students. So pupil services, school administration, and instructional and supervision, that is all part of supporting our students as well. So this is the multi-year projection where you can see using the dartboard and those COLAs that were on the assumptions page, we're projecting to have 24.9 million for the 24-25 year, and in the following year, 24.6 million in revenues. Expenditures are projected. We've taken, again, out all special funds, categoricals, and it's just the basics for these out years with flat enrollment. And you can see that we're projecting at this time a surplus for 24-25 about 94,269. The third year out over 100,000. And our fund balances are still within the $15 million range. So let's see if we can. So these are the assumption pages for this multi-year, the multi-year projection. So for the 2 out years, we're not including any enrollment changes, so there's no additional funding related to that. The average per pupil amount based on the local control funding formula for 24-25 is 12,121. And then for 25-26, 12,520. Again, the enrollment staying the same. Unduplicated counts are still hovering in the 27% range. We removed all those one-time categoricals. It includes step and level increases for our staff. And we also project some increases for inflation based on the consumer price index, and then the pension increases as well. This slide shows our reserves here. We are meeting our reserve policy requirement. We have 10% rounded up for economic uncertainties. And then you'll see that there is that 82% also represents operating and program reserves. So just as a refresher, in the details of the actual budget, it breaks out operating and program reserves. But operating reserves would be the cash reserves, like $6 million that we have set aside for that, our revolving fund balances. Then program reserves are things that we need to set aside for special programs or operations, like, for example, the 1.8 million that we have set aside for salary and benefits in the event of avoiding some layoffs, restricted funds, those type of things. And that little tiny red slice of the pie, which represents 2%, that is our undistributed amount in there. So, well, we haven't really made a decision or earmarked it for that at that time. So the bottom line, we include this slide for the district and stuff. So we are fiscally sound for this current +2 fiscal years. I've listed the projected ending fund balances and the percentage of to expenditures on the slide here. Also positive cash balances each month. So we've included a 36-month cash flow projections in the adopted budget. Every month is projected to be positive at this time. So from a state perspective, if we were a school district, this would be considered a positive certification. So tonight we are going to be asking you to approve the adopted budget, which includes the education projection account spending determinations. And then later on this, we are going to be asking you to approve the LCAP tonight. And so next steps is we're going to continue to monitor the legislative budget process. Once the budget is signed by the governor and they come out with the trailer bills in the summer, we'll be working on updating any of those major changes. And we'll still keep an eye on the state economy, the inflation, and make those decisions and changes to reflect for the first interim budget that will be coming to you in December. But we will also, during that time, be closing the books. And so you will be getting a budget update on how we're doing for 22-23 prior to September 15th. So we'll be able to see how we did this year, if we have a little bit of extra money, and that will be increasing our beginning fund balance for this adopted budget year. So I'll open it up for questions.
All right, may I have a motion to approve the 2023-2024 budget? Thank you, Doug. May I have a second?
Nita.
All right. Yeah, Nita. Thought I recognized you. Roll call vote, Doug.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Maria.
Yes.
Jennifer, I'm a yes. Preeti.
Yes.
Gina.
Yes.
Nita.
Yes.
Okay. LCAP.
All right, so last time I did a lovely presentation for all of you on the LCAP. And so at this point, it's just finding out if you have any questions after you were able to review it and look at that before you're able to approve it.
Questions?
No questions?
Questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a great
Yeah.
discussion last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Public hearing.
So I'll move to approve.
All right, thank you, Maria. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Doug. Roll call vote. Nita? Yes. Gina? Yes. Preeti? Yes. Jennifer, I'm a yes. Maria?
Yes.
Sean? Doug?
Yes.
Okay. And then I think I'm next, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so we have the 2023-2026 Executive Director Employment Agreement. As a board, we've decided to renew Dr. Wood's contract 1 year early in recognition of his steadfast and effective leadership of our school. Dr. Joe Wood will continue serving as the Executive Director with a new contract effective July 1st, 2023. Government Code, Section 54953 requires that the board receives a verbal summary of the employment agreement prior to taking action, so I'll be providing this information pursuant to this requirement. The Board of Directors received and reviewed a compensation study reflecting the salaries of school district superintendents and charter school executive directors across the greater Sacramento region at the April 3rd board meeting. This updated contract reflects the information provided in the compensation study. The term of the agreement is July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026. The work year is 220 days, and the agreement does not include paid vacation, though you're still required to take it. The annual base salary is $200,000 with 3% increases each year. As a certificated administrator, Dr. Wood will participate in the CalSTRS retirement system, as well as the school's 403B match program, and will receive a contribution to a 457 retirement plan equal to the maximum allowable annual contribution per IRS rules. Any other benefits are the same as those received by all other employees within the organization.
That includes taking days off.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve the 2023-2026 Executive Director Employment Agreement?
I so move. I'll second.
Thank you, Preeti. Thank you, Gina. Roll call vote, Nita.
Yes.
Gina.
Yes.
Preeti.
Yes.
Jennifer, I'm a yes. Maria.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Doug.
Well. Yes.
Okay. You're
Thank
stuck
you.
with us.
Very
We have
glad,
to sign
thank
a
you.
contract and take these off.
Oh, yeah, I'll have a revision. Okay, I get to sign it and Ashante gets to sign it when she's here. Okay. Would you like to share comments?
Executive comments, well, so first of all, thank you, I look forward to continuing to work with you all as a board and Natomas Charter School. It's been a pleasure, look forward to continued pleasure. So campuses are technically closed for summer break, but things are very, very busy on campus, as you might have seen when you pulled up, all the fences that are up. So just a couple quick updates, we do have facility projects going on in both Black Rock and Pact, and they're coming along even a little ahead of schedule, so that's good. Our teams are also on campus getting ready for back to school, so like the business office is getting all the new employees onboarded and getting ready for our July and August purchases. IT's getting all the Chromebooks refurbished and that sort of thing. Summer school ends this Friday for elementary and middle school students and next Friday for high school students. Office staff and administrators will be coming back onto campus around the week of July 24th. Teachers and instructional staff will be coming back August 3rd. And then students are coming back August 9th, which means that there's 44 more days of summer vacation. So it happens real quick. so we're looking forward to have everyone back.
This is back.
And some parents, I'm sure, are very excited to send their children back. But I need to get gates and fences and concrete before we come back, so we're working on that. But, no, so we're having an exciting summer, getting a lot of stuff done.
Board of Director comments.
Just welcome to our new.
Yeah, well,
From STARS. I just want to say the budget, I'm really in great shape. I mean, that's impressive.
yeah, we're in a good position going into
Yes.
the recession.
So
Yeah.
thank you.
And welcome back to Joe.
Yes.
Say I look forward to the new lines.
We got lines,
too,
a
buddy,
bar,
me too.
and all sorts of exciting.
Did you get enough volunteers for your video?
No, not yet. Don't worry, we're gonna hit you up. All of you are gonna have a role in it.
Count us in.
So which one of us gets to go on the wrong lane and have, you know?
Maria's
Sounds
gonna come
like
into
you.
the exit.
I don't feel. No, I'll speak through.
Someone gonna be the disgruntled parent. It'll be good, it'll be all ready for next year when my son comes here.
Awesome.
It's been a great year.
Yes.
Future board agenda items.
What's the date of our next meeting? You know, put up your head. Is it August
August,
13th?
yes. Hold on,
Trying to remember. Trying to do that. The 9th.
it's not the week we come back to school.
Must be the 14th, August 14th.
Yeah.
Students are back August 7th? Or
August
9th?
9th.
Okay, Wednesday, all right.
Not your son, no?
No, not.
Unfortunately, it's fine.
August 14th, we will see everyone checks there.
All right, well, if nobody objects, I will adjourn